Hi, good morning, Mary. How are you? How's everybody going? How you guys doing? Bright and early? Yes, I can hear you loud. I can hear you. Okay. I mean, what he said is not far away from what I've been saying. I think on this show, I'd even cited very good educational materials. And for further reading, I think there's a book out called The History of the Nigerian Police Force. It was written by my very good friend, Professor Rotimi of the Obasanjo University, Onaefe. It's about the biggest authority on the history of the Nigerian Police Force. And when you read through history, we are not used to having a centralized police force. Anything around the centralized police force pretty much was first cited, in the 1963 Constitution. I was reading through the 1963 Constitution yesterday, and that was the first ever time I saw that there would be a centralized police force, police force called Nigerian Police Force and all of that. But that Constitution also talked about, police service commission and the like. So, prior to that time, colonial times, even when various regions started having some form of self-rule and leadership in the late 60s, I think from 52, 53, you would see that we only have regional police. And they were very effective because they know the locality and all of that. The people were copying our presidential system of democracy from the Americans. They have localized police. Now, they have three layers of police. They've got county police. They've got some form of state police like NYPD, New York Police Department, LAPD, Los Angeles Police Department, and the like. Then they've got the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. So you can see three layers of police, to be able to do a lot. So the FBI or the Nigerian Police Force should be the federal form of police. Then we should have state police. We've always argued this to the high heaven. And that's why you see that there are calls, by people like Matawale and Governor Keredolu yesterday, to reinforce the need for self-protection. What they're just saying in radio, what they're saying, go out there and protect yourself, and that we can't do much about policing, is the fact that there's no state police, there's no police in the command of the state government. And we need to have that. The police are known every area. And we can see how well this will work. See how well Amoteco has worked. Amoteco has, cleared any doubts of some sort. A lot of people say, they will use as a political force. No, in fact, Amoteco has helped keep the peace in Ondo and some other states that it exists. And Amoteco has helped a great deal as regards stabilizing. And even when you go back historically, the historical genealogy of how our society evolved, our societies had their own security arrangements. Even till date, my father, at a point in my village, used to be in charge of the Vigilante Association. When we had a lot of armed robbery in my village back in the days, and we were in the village then, we had to set up a Vigilante force. That they had whistles and they had Dane guns, to keep some form of security. And they made giant strides, although some of them too were hurt by armed robbers. But to a large extent, peace was restored and burglary was restored. And that was overseen by our local community, the Community Development Association of my town. So everybody makes local security arrangements one way or the other. And that's just what Governor Keredolu called for. And it's long overdue when you see what's happening. At least it will be helpful for intelligence gathering and the like, and being able to stay at the time of all of this. And apart from that, empower them, to be able to carry weapons, to be able to face this adversary. So if we have our local police force, then we're able to defend ourselves from any form of intruder. Now, I can tell you for free that if they finally finalize the law to make Amoteco able to bear arms, those so-called intruders, kidnappers, murderers are going to be in big problems. They are not even bearing arms now according to the law, but you can see how much good work Amoteco and the like are doing.
The Amateco were the ones that even got the vehicles that those bandits, the people that attacked the church, They were the ones. Yes, they were the ones that discovered the vehicles and the phones and stuff, and they gave them.
You see
and
what
they
we are
gave
saying?
it
Because they have native intelligence and native knowledge. And that's what you can achieve with the federal police. When you post a man from Zamfara or from Katangwa somewhere to come and be a police commissioner in Abeokuta, he cannot know the top more than a Abeokuta man that he has gone into the bush. He had gone to hide in the bush when he was in primary school. He knows all the in and out. Really.
But my question is, on Channels Television, when he was interviewed, when Akeredolu was interviewed, he said that when he heard that the federal government it claimed that ISWAP were responsible for what happened, that he refuted it immediately. But my question is, why did the federal government come so quickly to blame, to say that this attack was caused by ISWAP?
I think it has to be stated. If the federal government said it was caused by ISWAP, then the other thing a lot of people want to interrogate is the intelligence behind that report. And if it was caused by ISWAP, what was done by the federal government to be able to stop it? Because if the federal government knows that ISWAP was operating in the area, somebody will have thought that they will have put in machinery in place to stop a possible attack. So those are the questions we also like to ask. So when they were so quick to say it was ISWAP, then so what? What has been done after it? And a lot of people are arguing otherwise, to balance this side of the story. The federal government said it's done. People say, no, it's not. It's deeper than this. A lot of people are facing many things. So even if, to go with the federal government that it was ISWAP, what did they do to counter them? What did they do to nip it in the bud? What did they do to stem the tide? What has their investigations been afterwards? I had a chance to talk to the CDS. They said it's an ongoing military matter as regards massacre. They also said it's an ongoing military matter as regards those kidnapping in Kaduna. The question is, what are they doing? The reason why a lot of people are calling for state police and various layers of policing is because, to a large extent, the federal authorities have not done enough to stem the tide of insecurity in the country. And let's just call it spade, and that's the truth. So he has refuted it. A lot of people too have refuted it. So the question is, if I want to even interrogate that intelligence by the federal government, it was ISWAP as they claimed. What did they do to stop it? If they had intelligence that ISWAP was moving around there, what did they do to clamp down the members? So these are questions we keep asking.
Yeah. Now let's move on to another story. And another thing, talking about, before I go to the other story, normally when ISWAP, they commit a crime or they do something of such that nature, they usually come to claim ownership. And ISWAP hasn't come forward to say that whatever happened at the Catholic Church, we did it. So that's another angle. Now there is this.
That's another layer of argument.
Yes, normally when.
But why? What I'm even concerned about is that should we even have a country where terrorist groups are claiming to claim ownership? It's a failure of our security. It's a failure of our security apparatus that we have a country that we wait for terrorist groups to come and confirm, oh, we did this, to not do video to claim victory. Do you know that for every victory any terrorist group claims against Nigeria as a sovereign state, do you know how morally debilitating and destabilizing it is? Do you know what it does to the collective fabric and the collective mindset of our people? Do you know what it does? So we should not have a country, and that's why if you get any intelligence as a federal government, nip it in the bud, go out there, carry out due action, crush and destroy anybody that is tormenting Nigeria and Nigerians. Nigerians are peace-loving people. All they want is a good country. Things are hard enough for them to not add insecurity to it. All they want is a good country that works for them, where they can live in peace and harmony and do their business and have their daily bread. Nigerians are not very demanding people, though. Nigerians are very good people. Are people that they just want the basics of life and they work with it, and they're hardworking people.
And it's very sad that the incident that happened at the St. Francis Catholic Church, it's almost a month now, and nobody has been caught yet. Nobody.
And that's the sad reality. It's only a Motekun that's able to fight the gas. So are we saying that we don't have security authorities to be able to follow them? Are we saying we can't carry out investigation? Are we saying we can't intercept phone calls? And that's why you see a lot of people keep arguing. Okay, name number.
Because
people have collected names. They say, okay, they will debar lines that have not registered. Till today, we can't track phone calls. Look at the other day that even when Shekau died, it was a French journalist that intercepted a phone call between two rival bandit groups that picked up the information that Shekau had died. And look at how our authorities, our security authorities have said many times, oh, he's dead, and he keeps resurfacing and coming back to life. So we need to work on our intelligence. We need to work on software. And you see, the good thing is that Nigerian young people, God, they are brilliant. They are intelligentsia. Nigerian young people in tech. If you gather a couple of young Nigerians in tech, you'll be able to build security software and security architecture. You'll be able to hack and track any call of all these bandits and everything. We can see, let me tell you something, Mary. I love this country so much. I can't deceive you. That's why I come on media every time. This country is my bread and butter. I want it to work. See, you can get Nigerian intelligence. All these young developing software boys that are carrying computers in their back, that police are harassing every time. You can get all these boys, get them in the hackathon room, develop applications to be able to crack the security solution in this country, with software and all that, and work on the technological part. You don't even need to go and bring any foreign company from Israel or anything. Use your Nigerian boys.
Rufai Oseni, you are saying this in a country where ASU has been on strike for more than 3 months, where the government does not...
Which is the sad reality, but
does not prioritize education.
You have intelligentials here. Okay, look at ASU being on strike. Look at what is even causing the strike. The payment modality, the IPPI, the UTAS that ASU developed. Shibi was among ASU professors that developed it, that the federal government is now dragged footing on. He's among professors. So Nigeria has an intelligent, intellectual class. Most of the world-class tech companies, you have Nigerian developers there. You see, anytime I go to Silicon Valley in America, go to Google, go to Facebook, go to all the top companies, go to SAS, go to all of them. I go to conferences in Europe, France, Germany, Turkey. I go all over the world, and I see Nigerians leading there. Nigerian brains. Go to America, Nigerian brains.
Okay.
In England.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rufai Oseni. I know we started with talking about what happened in Owo. Now we have moved to state police, and also now talking about the education sector in Nigeria, how the government has neglected the education sector. We know we have talent in this country. We know we have brains. We know we have what it takes to take that country to the next level. But when the people at the helms of affairs, they are corrupt and they don't really care about the citizen, they don't really care, what can the followers do? And the number that you can call to be part of the program is 0700 903 903, 0700 903 903. That's the number you can call right now quickly, because we're about to end the show for today. We just have a minute before we go. Rufai Oseni, I know you're still on the line. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I don't think we can even take any other calls because our time here is up. We'll continue the conversation tomorrow. If you check your time, it's 20 minutes past 7. So we'll end the show here today. But tomorrow, God willing, by 7 o'clock, we'll be here for more. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rufai Oseni, for being part of the program this morning.